Welcome to Clandeboye Golf Club. I'm the golf course manager. I've been here 30 years actually this year. We have a 36-hole parkland course. One would be predominantly heathland come parkland on their Ava, and the Dufferin is our main championship course, which would be predominantly parkland. We have around about 1,250 members at Clandeboye, and this year we've taken 170 new members. We would be averaging around 350 to 400 rounds per day at the moment, which is very, very good, but again, very sore on the golf course. So we are going to take a look at our main autumn maintenance and I'll try to explain as much as we can. It's a new Graden system that we're using. Graden, Verti draining, Graden and overseeding. So, and putting on lots of sand to firm the greens up. So this is what we're going to try to show the viewers today. What we're doing today, we're doing Verti draining at 8-inch depth at 2-inch centres. Then we're carrying out a scarification, which is called grading. So it's a linear lines procedure to remove the thatch. After the thatch is cleared up, we overseed with a Fescue and bent mix. Then we top dress with straight sand. We roll that in and then wait for germination of the seed. And hopefully our greens will be back in good condition in maybe 3 weeks' time. The reason why I started this grading, everybody used to Holotine, and then the grading is more American thing that came actually, well, American, Australia, the graders from Australia. So we felt that you get 80% more thatch removed using a grading system rather than something like only 40% through Holotining. So the reason why I went down this line, STRI, we sent them away to STRI, then told me my problem was 18 mil below the surface. So instead of, we thought then we'll target 20 mil using the grading system to get into that thatch. So we were able to pull the thatch out of that to 20 mil. That allowed the water to channel quicker through the surface and make my greens a lot firmer. I was finding my greens were becoming very soft to walk on, even when I was doing holotining twice and 3 times a year. But once I started the grading, different. My greens now are firm, the water comes through the greens far quicker, and members are happy, and I'm very happy. You can see the debris. You can just see what the thatch content is in the greens. Now it's not all thatch, but it's a mixture of surface, turf, sward and thatch, so it's a mixture. We do first a procedure of Verti draining. You can see the small holes at about 2-inch centres. They allow the water to penetrate further down through the soil profile. These linear lines are 3 mil tine to 18 mil to 20 mil in depth. We clean the profile, the soil profile up, and then we seed into them, and then we hope to get a good germination rate when we seed into these lines. It's a very aggressive procedure. Our greens were absolutely amazing. Our membership were complimenting us on the greens, and if they could just see them now. But in 3 weeks' time, these greens will be repaired and back to normal. And we need to do this. And I found that this year, with very little maintenance on the greens due to the COVID at the start, that my greens were puffed up. We were down to only cutting our greens 3 times a week. And we felt that we needed to do this, so I'm actually a little bit more aggressive this year. We're down 20 mil, we're putting on more sand, and we just want to try to get the greens more compact on the top surface. At the moment, what we're doing now at the moment, we're introducing seed to the greens, and we're using a Fescue and bent. We're using around about three bags for 18 greens. The product is MM11. And we're using some mixtures of Fescue and bent. And what we're trying to achieve is introducing more bent into our greens. And Fescue, there's no doubt, it carries, would germinate a lot quicker than the bent. And we're using Fescue and bent and allow for the Fescue to carry the bent, because the bent is the very small seedlings, where the Fescue is larger. Our makeup on greens, we're predominantly at Clandeboye Golf Club an 80-20. I would say we would have 80% bent and some Fescues, very little Fescues on this course, more in the Ava course, which is drier. So we'd be predominantly 80-20. Poanya would be our 20%, maybe even creep into 30%, but we're trying our best to keep it down, which is difficult. We would use a lot of growth regulators through the season. We would spray our greens every 12 to 14 days with Primo Max, a growth regulator, using organic liquids as well with that. And that seaweed? We would use seaweed mix as well, straight seaweed at the moment, and then we'd use a separate seaweed and iron for presentation spray. We're trying to introduce more seaweed meal into our greens. This time we don't do that. We do that at the beginning of the year on our spring maintenance. We introduced 2 bags of straight seaweed meal. This is more for soil conditioner and trying to just be the only thing that is on the market for conditioning soil. At this stage, it would be nice to have other products on the market for conditioning, but as I say, seaweed is something that we're working closely with a company down south, and we can see the benefits of it. The greens are... How often do you apply the seaweed, Terry? We would only apply the seaweed once a year by a granular form, but liquid form then we would apply that every 14 days, around about maybe 12 litres per hectare on our greens. Seaweed is a product that it's very difficult to see what it does, but it's really the only product out there that enhances the soil. It does strengthen the plant, but again, it's something that we just add in as another additive.
So he'll just be kind of doing like a rotation like this, and what he'll be doing is staying on the green.
Yep.
So he'll stay on the green on a figure 8. So, because we've got grass seed on here as well, and we don't want the grass seed matted on to here because it's too expensive. So he'll just keep on going, and then once we get this in as much as we can without doing too much, because sand's very abrasive, so we don't want to do too much brushing, because that bruises the turf and knocks it back. So we just need to do the right amount and then leave it, and then we'll roll. We'll put our speed roller on and roll it, and then we'll hit it with water. So that's the procedure of getting it in, but when we can see this. Roughly up to nearly 3 ton of sand on. Our greens for 12 to 13 weeks weren't played on, and we felt then that we were getting the surface was puffed up a little bit, and that's why I'm doing a deeper thatch reduction, taking more thatch out, putting on more sand, and we're just trying to get the greens firmer for going into our winter. And we've got a European Tour event here next August, and those professionals want firm, fast greens. So they don't want pudding greens, they don't want soft greens, they want a green that will actually, when the perfect shot's hit onto the green, it'll accept the ball, and and a bad shot then will be disregarded and come right through the green. Well, this is our bigger shed now that holds all our cutting equipment. You can probably see that we have a multicolored shed with John Deere, with Jacobsen, with Toro. I would buy an old heater sitting in there. I would have to be a greenkeeper that would probably buy the best from each distributor. I wouldn't solely go in red, I wouldn't solely go in green, or I wouldn't solely go in orange. This is the new hybrid Eclipse. She's battery operated. We've got electric motors in her. So she's a half hybrid. So there's an engine in it which drives a small generator which sends the electric to the cutting heads. So you would get a consistent cut all the time. We would normally cut 3 mil. We wouldn't really come much lower than 3 mil. We'd maybe go to, maybe sometimes for a major competition, if we felt that growth was a bit rampant, we would then bring her down to about 2.85, but that'll be only for a short time. We feel that we can, at 3 mil now with the speed rolling and our top dressing regime and our growth regulators, we can get a true consistency of put in around 10 all the time, with not going too low, because I feel when you go too low, it's detrimental damage to the grass plant. But we have a Toro rough mower we just purchased this year. This piece of kit here is a hydraulic 7 unit for cutting the rough. We cut the rough at about 50 mil. This particular machine was over £60,000. So all the equipment is very expensive now, and the upkeep of the equipment is very expensive.
Mechanic on site?
Mechanics on site. We have our own in-house mechanic. We try to do everything in-house to keep the cost down. But at the moment we would be roughly running on maybe £30,000 just to maintain the machinery, which is quite high. We'd like to pull that back down again.
And is the best way to get that back down again, is that to invest in new tools?
Absolutely, invest in more modern equipment and maybe put that onto hire purchase. Then we would have maybe 2 years warranty, and some machines are giving you a 3-year warranty with them. So that's the only way to try to pull your daily maintenance, your yearly maintenance down.